The Securities and Exchange Commission revokes the registration of Rappler, allegedly for violating the Constitution and the anti-dummy law. The SEC says Rappler violated constitutional restrictions on ownership and control of mass media entities because of funds coming from Omidyar Network, a fund created by eBay founder and entrepreneur Pierre Omidyar. In its decision dated January 11, the SEC en banc says, quote, "The en banc finds Rappler Incorporated and Rappler Holdings Corporation, a mass media entity and its alter ego, liable for violating the constitutional and statutory foreign equity restrictions in mass media, enforceable through laws and rules within the mandate of the Commission." SEC voids the Omidyar Philippine Depositary Receipt and revokes Rappler's Certificate of Incorporation. A PDR is a financial instrument that does not grant ownership, owner voting rights in the board, or a say in the operations of the company. Several large media companies have PDRs. The SEC itself accepted the Omidyar-related documents submitted by Rappler in 2015.
We will continue to hold power accountable, and we will continue to tell the truth no matter what.
Rappler will continue to operate as it files the necessary motions for reconsideration with the courts. The Duterte administration has long targeted Rappler. The SEC investigation was ordered by the Office of the Solicitor General, which wrote the agency on December 2016 to investigate Rappler over its PDRs. In his second State of the Nation address last year, President Rodrigo Duterte himself threatened to investigate the ownership of Rappler. Rappler has long debunked the allegation. The SEC decision against Rappler also comes after months of being attacked by pro-administration bloggers over its ownership, among other issues. The SEC endorses the decision to the Justice Department for appropriate action. French pharmaceutical giant Sanofi Pasteur agrees to refund the $1.4 billion that the Philippine government is demanding for the unused Dengvaxia dengue vaccine vials in the country. This after Health Department Secretary Francisco Duque III wrote demand letters asking for a refund and for the company to provide free sero testing for 873,000 children who got the vaccine. But Sanofi says its decision is not related to any safety or quality issue with Dengvaxia. Sanofi adds the DOH's demand for a refund was just due to a misunderstanding. It says, quote, "This tone is due to a misunderstanding of the benefits and risks associated with the dengue vaccine and a lack of awareness amongst the general public, particularly parents of vaccinated children, that the overall benefit of dengue vaccination remains positive in high endemic countries like the Philippines." In November 2017, Sanofi said Dengvaxia could cause a person to later develop severe dengue if he or she had not been infected by the virus prior to immunization. Supreme Court Associate Justice Samuel Martirez on Monday urges the families of deceased judges and justices to pursue administrative charges against personnel who caused the delay in the issuances of their survivorship benefits. Martirez makes the remark during his testimony in the House Justice Committee's impeachment hearing against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. The delays in the survivorship benefits is one of the grounds cited by lawyer Lali Gadon in his impeachment complaint. Previously, Court Administrator Maidas Marquez said that since a committee and technical working groups were created, the resolution of benefit applications got stuck in a bottleneck. Marquez previously solely handled the applications before transmitting them to the SC en banc. He said what usually took 2 to 3 weeks now took 2 years and more. The committee was created by Sereno, Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, and Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco Jr. Marquez says the documents would indicate it was Sereno who created the TWGs, which became added layers. Martirez says it resulted to 29 applications that were stuck in the layers. He adds it's due time that this was investigated and those responsible be held accountable. The Sereno camp says Martirez's sentiments on the issue is irrelevant to the accusation against the Chief Justice. They say there is no evidence she tried to influence or control the TWGs in any way. Senator Panfilo Lacson files a resolution calling for the Senate to take part in the bicameral Constituent Assembly to propose amendments to the 1987 Constitution. Lacson acknowledges the law is silent on the manner of voting, but he calls for the Senate and the House of Representatives separate voting on charter change. The Duterte administration has been pushing for charter change in order to shift to a federal form of government. Lacson says he expects the issue to reach the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter of the law. Senate Minority Leader Frank Drilon earlier said the minority bloc is open to questioning the issue before the High Court. United States President Donald Trump on Sunday denies he is racist. Trump's statement comes after he described Haiti, El Salvador, and African nations as shithole countries. He says, quote, "I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you." Several lawmakers earlier raised the issue of protections for immigrants from the said countries. The U.S. president, in response, demanded to know why the United States should accept immigrants from shithole countries, rather than, for instance, wealthy and overwhelmingly white Norway. Trump says he was trying to clinch an immigration deal, but that his Democratic rivals were unhelpful. He says, quote, "I don't think Democrats want to make a deal. The folks from Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals should know the Democrats are the ones that aren't going to make a deal." Trump announced in September that he was scrapping the program, but with a 6-month lag, meaning those covered by DACA would be subject to deportation starting March.